Welcome to the show, everyone. And you know what? We are live here having fun networking with everyone out there right on the radio. We're live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us, and we're going to be sharing the show afterwards. I am here right now with a couple of people who have been on with me before, but now they're going to be on a few times because they want to get the word out about what they do big time to everybody out there. My first guest is Ulrich Eichmann, and he is the president of Swiss American Financial Solutions. Welcome to the show. You're not only the owner and president of this, you are also the author, well, you wrote the foreword, I should say it that way,
right,
of 2 books. And so I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you.
And so I want you to tell everybody a little bit about yourself, what you do, how you got about writing this foreword for the book, because we're going to be opening up the audience. And when you hear what we're doing as a giveaway, I believe everyone should be doing this. So go ahead, tell them a little bit about yourself.
All right. So, well, I met Rocky DeFrancesco in a financial fiduciary networking system, and he's a consumer advocate pit bull. I read his books, and he asked me after knowing me a little more, after about 2 years, said, like, do you want to write the foreword to some of my books? And I said, yeah, I'm especially bad advisors. The other book you have in front of you, that Peace of Mind Planning, losing money is no longer an option. This day and age, right? It's pretty crazy, especially in light of what just happened the last 3 months.
Crazy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That roller coaster, right? How's the market back up again when the economy is down?
I know,
It
it's so
no
strange.
sense. Yeah.
Now, we've got 2 books, and we're going to be
Right.
doing not only the book that people are going to get away, but I'm going to tell you what else we're going to also do too here. The one book is Bad Advisors, how to identify them and how to avoid them. And it's so important for people, I think, everyone to kind of look at this book and listen and read it, because a lot of people have advisors. Not all of them are great, right?
Well, it's pretty much like everything, right? You can't do the stereotype of saying, like, well, if I go to this broker, then they're all bad. No, there's probably a couple very good people trapped in a bad system. There might be good brokers. Whatever,
Same thing
right?
as in the cop world,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
But here's what I want to say here. What's really good about it is that you give pointers of people that should looking for certain things that you need to look for,
Right.
and making sure that they're doing the things that you should be getting from them. And if
Right.
you're not, you might want to consider looking into getting another one, right?
Right. Well, specifically, you mentioned that one point that's so important. If you just take one of the secrets that Rocky actually exposes in his books, okay? Let's assume you want an annuity, right? Great annuities, bad annuities, like everything. There's fantastic annuities, there's really bad annuities. We don't like variable annuities, high fees, but fixed index annuities are a different thing. Might fit in your portfolio, might not. But let's assume you go into a captive agent who only works with 2 or 3 different companies. These companies will also offer the advisor an incentive, saying like, hey, if you reach $3 or $4 million in annuity sales to your clients throughout the year, you're going to go on a cruise the next year. So now your client X coming in December, this advisor has 3.5 million and you have 500,000 to invest. Guess where you're going, no matter what your financial situation is, and that's just terribly
That's
wrong.
not what you want.
That's wrong.
Now, the other book is called Peace of Mind Planning, and that's Losing Money is No Longer an Option. Again, that's another one for everybody to, especially right now, to
Yes.
be getting this book.
Absolutely.
And you're also, what you said that before you came on the air is that you want to also give 5 people away. So 5 people are going to win this, a full financial retirement planning session. And that comes along with the books as well.
Correct.
So it's whether it's you or someone that you know, believe me, it's so important, especially right now. And even if you've already, even if you're talking to someone, you do second opinions, you talk to people, you do free consultations with everyone. So the number to call here to get this is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. I'm going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show for this, because I believe that everyone should have it and sit down and talk to you. Again, that number here is 602-277-5369. You can check them out. It's SwissAmericanFinancial.com or .net. Okay, you can go either
.net's
way.
the free books.
Oh, okay.
You get e-books, actually, instead of getting a hard copy, you get e-books.
But right now we're going to give out your phone number too, which is 602-703-6611. He has offices in Glendale, Arrowhead, Scottsdale, and also throughout in other parts of the United States as well. But in my opinion, it is here right now. Call in, get this financial, it's a planning session for yourself plus the books. Our number here, 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. So, okay, I want to talk a little bit about, we've talked about you and how important it is for people to do this. Why do CPAs not cooperate with financial advisors?
Well, this is an opinion that has been forged over the last 2 decades. CPAs, usually the problem is they're really the hardest working financial professionals in the industry. If you think about it, they prepare your taxes, and they have the highest credibility. Even in our opinion, they have the highest credibility because it's a very tough, CRFA, CPA, certified financial planners. These are all accredited designations, and there's only 6 categories. That's it. That's FINRA accrediting. One of them, ours, is the CRFA, that we're also accredited. But the CPA, in comparison to what a financial advisor can make, right, with a new client, is substantially lower than what a financial advisor can make. So you have to understand there's a little bit of resentment, which is understandable, for them to want to work with a financial advisor that essentially just uses the CPA so that they can use them in their network and claim that they have a CPA. So that's the problem. And here is the biggest problem that we hear from all the clients that come to us and start working with us. Many of them were looking for 10 years and they went back and forth between the CPA and the financial advisor, and they asked the CPA, so what's the consequence if we're going to sell this stock? What's my tax implications? And the CPA said, well, I don't know. You have to ask your financial advisors. I don't know what the cost basis is, what your gains are. And then you go to financial advisor, and the guy says, well, you have to ask your CPA. I'm not a tax specialist. So you get the rundown. So the unique thing with us is we have a full financial fiduciary network, meaning we have to have the client's best interest at heart at all time, and they all work together. That's the most important thing, because this will tell us what actual tax ramification are you going to have if you sell certain stocks. Should you sell some of your losses, because you can offset that by your next tax return. And that's really the most important thing. It doesn't help you if you make 5% more than your neighbor, but you pay in a 10% higher tax bracket than your neighbor.
It makes a lot of sense. Now, we've got our lines open here for everyone. We've got 5 people that are going to win. It's a financial planning session with him, and it comes along with the books, both the books. So one is Bad Advisors, How to Identify Them and How to Avoid Them. The other one is, Peace of Mind Planning, and that is Losing Money is No Longer an Option. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. He has offices throughout Arizona, throughout the valley. He has them in other parts of the country, as well as you can call in here and get entered into win, or you can also go on his website. It is SwissAmericanFinancial.com. I'm going to let us go out here in the break because I'm trying to decide whether I should ask another. In my mind, I'm going, should I wait or should I? I'm going to go to a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk further. Again, you got to check him out. It's SwissAmericanFinancial.com. I'm just going to do that one for right now. Again, you could call him direct. He does do free consultations. That number is 602-703-6611. We've got 5 people that are going to win. This is a full financial retirement planning session. It comes along with both books. Our number here, 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Check him out. We can go ahead on his website, and when we come back, we're going to talk further. There's a lot of reasons why, we're especially right now, you want to make sure that you're being taken care of, and you're making sure that your financials are all in order, and that you have somebody who is a fiduciary, which is what you are, which means that they're looking out for your best interests, and also you have it all under one roof. Everybody's sort of working together with you. Yes. Again, that number to call here, get entered into win. 5 people are going to win. It's a full financial retirement planning session plus the books, 602-277-5369. So we're going to continue talking live right now, okay?
Yeah.
And
you mentioned last time when we started talking about the Social Security benefit taxation. Remember, that's what you really wanted to go
to
and
talk
follow up
about.
on.
We didn't do it too. So we want to do it now?
We started that at the very end. He said, like, oh shoot, if I knew that, I wanted to start from the beginning. So let's go into that.
Okay, so let's do it. So Social, especially now, especially with what's going on too, right? So I'll just say, hey, a lot of people are going to want to know about what's going on with their Social Security, especially right now. I'm one of them, sir. I'm one of them. I'm turning 62. But I'm not gonna take it right away. I want to.
Yeah.
I figured I got a few years more to have to work.
There's always the
Like
question.
the rest of my life. What?
There's always the question: should I take it early, at retirement age, or at 70?
I
You
know.
know what the right answer is?
As soon as you can get it.
It depends. It's the right answer.
But it does. But I asked my guy, and
Really
he
does.
said the problem is for me, and I'm talking to everybody out there too,
Right.
is that like for instance, I have to work, right?
Yeah.
Because what I make, what I have to pay for my living expenses, it wouldn't make sense to right now
Mhm.
because you have to make so
Deductions.
much little,
Yeah.
right?
Plus, they're holding some of that back until full retirement.
Right. So that's why I think I'm gonna wait. I think I'm maybe 65. You say no, but
Well, it takes 10 years to accumulate the difference. You
Well, I
try
don't
it
know.
at 62, it may be less money than your next time your full retirement is 67. So from 60, that's 5 years. Now you can do the math.
yeah,
Well, I know.
yeah. He says it
It
depends.
depends on do you have longevity in your family. If you do, you might want to wait a little later. The other thing is, how much of income do you have other than your Social Security
Well,
benefit?
that's a good point.
How
Well,
much
that's
is-
my point.
What
That's
is your
me.
IRA worth? If you have too much in your IRA, you might not want to take it and slowly start taking from your IRA and do Roth conversions at a lower tax rate. Because the most amazing thing is, once you start taking that Social Security benefits, I have done this in front of tens of thousands of people. I have to meet one person that understands the provisional income that the IRS uses to tax your Social Security benefits. Nobody understands this. No one.
That's a good point.
So we'll get to
We're
that.
gonna talk about that now.
Good.
Okay.
Get educated.
That's what I love about it. I know that we have to go into all of this about you, but that's why the more that you can be on, the better you can, so that you can start doing that, where you are just educating them.
Yeah.
Educating them.
No,
what
that's
it's all
really,
about.
that's
And being
something,
able to do it here is, like, instead of doing it where you do those seminars, let's say you do those, I don't know if you do or not, or
well,
dinner
you
or
can't
whatever.
right now. It's
Yeah,
impossible.
you can't even, but what a
I
better
tried
place
in
though.
Idaho, out of all places, where it's really super conservative, and they opened everything up. Nope, no more than 4 people, plus you, plus they have to be
There we
family.
go. But here's you got the captured audience.
Yeah.
That's what's neat about it. So welcome back, everyone. And we are talking with Jurg Eichmann, and he's the president of Swiss American Financial Solutions. And at the break, we were talking, and we brought up about
Good
Social
conversation.
Security. And I'm like, I'm one to be asking questions because I am just turning. This is July 10th is my 62nd birthday, and I'm thinking, what do I want to do? What do I do? What should I do? Because what's going on right now, it's scary. It's a really weird, in a world that we're living in. We've got our lines open here, and everyone's getting entered into it. We've got 5 people that he's going to give this to, which is a full financial retirement planning session, and it comes along with the 2 books that he wrote the forewords to. Our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Okay. So what's get up on top of it. What is the first question when people turn, it's not on, can we make sure that that's on, please? What's the first question when people start turning around my age and you get, when should I take my Social
Exactly,
Security?
yes, and there's really, should I take it at 62, should I take it full retirement age, or at 70? And people always say, what's the right answer? And I'm always saying, it depends. You just don't know. We laugh our tails off usually when we see the ad campaigns, come and learn the secret security or the secret about Social Security, how you can make 85% more. Well, you know what it is? Between 62 and 70, if you wait, it's 85% more. Wow, that's a security there. That saved you a dinner
That's a
seminar
real-
right there. Okay? So no, seriously, I'm like, this is so hilarious. But the bottom line is, it depends on, do you have longevity in your family? Do you have a lot of income right now? Are you still working? Because if you do still work and they take it at 62, they're going to withhold some of that. You're going to get it back once you start at full retirement age, but they're going to hold some of that back. The other question is, how much money is in your IRA? You have a lot of money in your IRA, and you have to maybe withdraw from your IRA. Wouldn't it be better to withdraw that without actually getting taxed on your Social Security benefits? Because here's the big thing. We held workshops over the last 10 years in front of thousands of people. I yet have to meet one person that can explain to me the provisional income the IRS uses in order to define and determine how much of your Social Security benefits will actually be taxable. So assume you're a couple. If you have $34,000 in income per year, that's not that much, right? As a couple, you would have to agree. If it's $34,000 a year, any dollar above that turns a dollar into $1.50 of taxable income, because now 50% of your Social Security benefits will become taxable. And once you make over $44,000 a year, guess what? 85% of your Social Security benefits can become taxable. So if you have $100,000 in income between your IRAs, your Social Security benefits, you're going to get hammered. And we have that special software that we're using that tells us exactly, based on the last year's tax return, how much did your Social Security benefit get taxed last year, and is there any way for us to optimize that, making sure that you don't pay as much in your Social Security benefits. There are options with Roth IRA conversions between now and age 72, because we know it just changed from 70 and a half to 72, the required minimum distributions. Meaning
They raised it?
They raised it to 72, which is great, of course, that comes in handy, right? So that gives some people an extra year and a half to 2 years to convert some of their IRA into Roth IRA money, pay the tax rate at the current tax rate, and who knows with the COVID-19 this year, who knows what they're going to allow at the end of the year for tax deductions, and maybe they won't allow higher conversion to Roth IRAs. We don't know any of that yet, but it's definitely something worth looking into.
Well, I do think what's really worth looking into is having a consultation with you. I mean, you've been doing this. How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for 15 years now.
15 years, and he's also the co-author. He is the
wrote the foreword.
He wrote the foreword. I'm sorry, I made it better,
Not
but
quite
whatever.
the same. I wish.
It's okay, but it's okay. But he wrote the foreword to Rocky DeFrancisco's book, Bad Advisors: How to Identify Them, How to Avoid Them. And this again is a really good book for everyone to look into and see some of the things, some of the pointers that you would know whether or not maybe your guy isn't what you should be looking at. And then you can have a consultation with, if you want to, with Jurg, and in that he does free consultations with everyone. Also, his other book is Peace of Mind Planning. He wrote the foreword to that too, and that's losing money is no longer an option, and it isn't. And that's why we have to be very careful of what we're doing and who we're listening to. And even if you think that your guy is the best, if you're listening right now to this and you think, you know what, maybe I should just check it out. That's all it is. It's a conversation,
right,
and you'll find out whether or not you're in the right place or not. Again, our number here to get this is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. He has offices in Glendale, Arrowhead, Scottsdale, and also in the other states. He does the free consultations. His website is SwissAmericanFinancial.com. You can call him direct at 602-703-6611, or call in here and get entered into win. We're going to leave the lines open for everyone to get this. Okay, I'm just going to go into the next one here, okay? So why is it so important for people to know their numbers?
Well, it's important because they all affect your taxation at the end of the day. You want to make sure that you don't run out of income. You can run out of money, but you can never run out of income, right? Part of your income, which we call annuities, essentially, that you're never going to run out of, is your pension, right? If you wanted the 13% that's left in this country, imagine that still has a pension. Or you get the government annuity, which is Social Security. As long as you get those and it matches actually your expenses, you're probably going to be okay. You might not leave a whole lot to your heirs, but you want to make sure that this is all really tailored and merged into one income stream that's correctly tailored and calculated in order to avoid Social Security benefit taxation and other taxations you might not be aware of.
Sure. Now, what I want to talk about is okay, so now everybody's probably opening up their mail,
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a little bit better these days. But the market is fluctuating so that there's times when we just don't even want to look at what's going on. I mean, I know my ex-mother-in-law says, I don't even want to look.
Right.
And what are your thoughts about that, about people just not wanting to look?
Well, the bottom line is you have to have asset protection in your portfolio. This is the new thing. Buy and hold is no longer working. That's a 40-year-old strategy where you just buy and hold, because guess what? How do you invest in bonds right now? How do you do that when the bond market is so volatile, more volatile almost than the stock market? So to us, bonds, probably investment in bonds for the future are probably going to be very iffy for the foreseeable future. And you can replace them with other things. You can use annuities, fixed index annuities for doing that. If you still have a nice equity position, you want to make sure that's also asset protection. There's protected in one way or another. There's tactical overlays that you can use with tactical asset management. So in other words, you're not buying and holding because you're not going to a brokerage firm buying their proprietary products. That's a big difference.
There's a big difference in that. And here's the thing too about you. You've been doing this for 15 years and you're all about protecting your clients. I've been on your website and I look at all the things. First of all, I love it. It's got a lot of information there too. But I also think what I hear about you the most is that you're there to make sure that your clients retire with peace of mind.
Correct.
Big time peace of mind.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, people always make fun of me by telling them, you know, you can take the Swiss out of Switzerland, you can't take Switzerland out of the Swiss. And we're the insured guys. I mean, we had an insurance in case I dropped something off the top of the stairs, I was insured against anything. So our thing in Switzerland really is protection, 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 and you know, gains are nice, but you want to have a floor underneath it.
Absolutely. I love the way you put that. I'm going to have to write that down for the next one, okay? And again, we've got our lines open here. 5 people are going to win it's a full financial retirement planning session with him. You're also going to get the books that he wrote the foreword to. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Check him out. It's a SwissAmericanFinancial.com. Okay, let's say somebody is getting ready to retire, okay? How far in advance do they should be calling you to talk to you a little bit about these things? You know, I know when you start turning 60, you start thinking, you know?
It's never too late and it's never too early. We found that some of the funkiest investments that people didn't trust 30 years ago turned out to be some of the best. And guess what? It's one of those that Susie Orman said she doesn't like, which is life insurance. But guess what? Because the market went up steady and they had very good gains on the S&P 500, very simple. Some of those turned out incredibly well. So in other words, you don't want to have any exclusion or turn your head the other way because you heard something bad on the radio or because some brokerage firms, and there's many of them that say bad things about fixed index annuities. We don't care, okay? We don't exclude anything because our vision's got to be open 180 degrees. There's got to be anything from the left to the right. You have to be open to that, okay? And the important thing about that, of course, is when you do a planning session, it's never too late. I have people come and say, like, well, I'm already 75, I'm already taking Social Security. They're like, well, how do you know that you're actually taking the right money from the right sources?
The only way you know is by having that conversation with him. It's free consultation, and the number to call him direct, it's 602-703-6611. His website is SwissAmericanFinancial.com. Say it really quick what you said. You can take the what? You can take
the Swiss out of Switzerland, but you can't take Switzerland out of the Swiss.
Well, we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win. We've got 5 people that are going to get this. It's a full financial retirement planning session with him. That number to call here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. It comes along with the books as well. It's SwissAmericanFinancial.com. Let me turn this on.
Thank you.
Very good.